The Moto X has been one of the most talked about phones of 2013, but as it's sitting here in my hands, I have to ask the question, is it as good as the Galaxy S4, the HTC One, or the LG Optimus G Pro? I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. It's PhoneDog's full video review of the Moto X, and it starts right now. This is one of the most important reviews that we've done at PhoneDog, at least in 2013, because the Moto X has a lot riding behind it. It's the flagship Motorola device for the second half of 2013 and arguably for the entire year, obviously outside of the Droid line, which is exclusive to Verizon. The Moto X coming very soon to Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and it's going to be available in limited quantities on T-Mobile. It's not going to be available in retail stores, but they will have a version of the device that works with T-Mobile's 4G LTE connectivity, though it remains to be seen where you can get that. I assume the Motorola website, but T-Mobile's been pretty clear in saying that they're not going to stock it. So Moto X is here. Specs, a disappointment for some people, pretty mid-range in the specs department, at least at first glance. It's packing a 1.7 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 CPU. You've got a 4.7-inch 720p HD display. It's an AMOLED display here. You've got on the back a 10-megapixel camera with 1080p HD recording. A really nice build here, but again, from a specs perspective, 720p on the display, not 1080. You've got a little bit of a smaller display by some comparisons. 4.7 inches as opposed to maybe 5 or 5.5 or even 5.2 as we saw in the LG G2, which just launched. What it does have though is a stock or relatively stock build of Android 4.2 Jelly Bean with some minor Motorola customizations. Now, if you know my videos, you know that I have a hard time with Android 4.2, a stock version of it. And the reason why is because I don't see the value add. And I say that phrase quite often in videos. And what I mean behind that is with Android 4.2, yes, it runs fast. Yes, you're getting Android 4.2, a later version of the popular operating system. That said, you can get Android 4.2 on the Galaxy S4 or the HTC One. It's rolling out internationally right now. And combined with the software, Sense 5 and TouchWiz, and using even LG as an example, you get so many software goodies, software bonuses. Now, if you're a hacker, that probably doesn't appeal to you, but as a mainstream consumer, it probably appeals to you to be able to have those goodies, those software goodies that come with it. And in today's market, for the most part, Sense 5, for example, does not slow down, I should say, or is unslowed by Android. I said that backwards, I'm sorry. Android 4.2 is not slowed down by TouchWiz in most cases with the recent software patches and by HTC Sense 5. So that case that, yeah, you got a stock user interface, it's better because it's faster, and then you have TouchWiz and it's slow and laggy, is less of an issue now than it ever was before. So keep that in mind. But that said, you got a lot of good stuff here, and we'll talk about it in the video. Now I'm going to take a step back and pause for just uno minuto and thank my partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us devices like the Moto X for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working, get your email set up, that contacts, they'll help you with Motorola Assist and things like, okay, Google Now. Best Buy Mobile will help you set up because at Best Buy Mobile, you walk out working. And even the phone's going to agree with me. So that's got to be a good thing. At Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. So what you just saw now is a Google Now, and it's integrated pretty tightly into this device. It has an always-on microphone, and by saying, okay, Google Now, you can see that it activates right away. So that's one of the software goodies, but let's start going into the menu here and taking a look at the applications that come out of the box. One of my favorites, Motorola Assist right here. And if you're watching the 30-day challenge, because I am carrying this device right now, you're going to see a lot of repetition here. Keep in mind, this is the review of the Moto X. The challenge, obviously, is highlighting some of my likes and dislikes about the device over 30 days of carrying it as my personal phone. So Moto Assist here, or Motorola Assist, you've got three options: driving, meeting, and then you have sleeping as well. Three things we do pretty often as adults. Driving here, for example, I can turn it on if I want to and say, talk to me, so I can read text messages and tell me who's calling. I can resume my music play if I want to. And just by coming in here, calculating all this, read text messages, tell me who's calling, do a quick reply, it'll automatically detect when I'm driving and it'll turn on driving mode. Then with meeting, it checks my calendar for events with other calendars or with other things on the calendar and helps me avoid distractions. Sleeping, like it sounds, kind of like Do Not Disturb on iOS. I can come in here and say, you know what, I'm sleeping from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. I want my phone to be silent, but you know what? I want my family to be able to call, or my fiance, or whoever. Someone calls twice, I can activate those, so when I get that 2 o'clock work call from the boss, I can go ahead and get it and tell him, you know what, hey, call me twice, so it'll ring. But you can activate all this. Moto Assist is pretty nice here, kind of an evolution, if you will, of Motorola's Smart Actions that we saw in earlier in the year and then previously. last year. Migrate is another useful tool here. We'll take a look at this. You can set up Migrate. I'm not going to go through with it because I don't have another device handy at the moment to migrate over, but you can migrate your SIM contacts, your media, your messages, volume, screen stuff, all the stuff from your old device over. And you're going to also notice that Android 4.2 look and feel is pretty prevalent all throughout this device. And my example here, for example, Migrate, you can see next. It's that italicized font that you see where it says no, not now, or yes, I'm in quite often. For example, Google Now. Actually, I activated this, I apologize, but usually, when you activate that stuff, it says no, not now, or yes, I'm in. So continuing right along here, we'll take a look at the other applications. You get, obviously, as you would expect, a lot of Google Plus integration here, and you're seeing my personal apps here because I'm running it as part of the 30-day challenge. But Google Plus Messenger, you get AT&T here with my AT&T, and then over here, Google Drive, for example. And over on this side, some of my ones that I've installed, including Google Translate, which is one that comes out of the box, but then you've got Visual Voicemail and AT&T application, and then some of my goodies as well. But you know what? Gems are hidden all throughout in this device. I'm going to the settings here so you can take a look, and it is running Android 4.2. As you can see, 4.2.2 right there. And we'll come back up here and take a look at active notifications and touchless control. So active notifications here, you can learn more about those, and we can see this. And this is something that appears on your lock screen. It's intended to be a battery conserving lock screen as opposed to you turning the device on and off and on and off. You can do this active display. And then Motorola Connect is a fantastic application we'll talk about in part 2. And again, if you've been watching the challenges, you know that I've been covering this at length. But you can see here, active display, view my details, and I can see what's going on. So I'm going to put it down and hopefully it'll work here where you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So if I shift the device over, it should, as I pick it up and move it around. And I may need to give it a second here to take its time. But usually what it'll do when I pick it up, it'll show the time and it'll show a mail notification or perhaps a text message, and I can drag it up to answer or down to unlock the actual device itself. So that is a nice little touch as well. And again, that's something that's exclusive to the Moto X. So settings in here, for example, touchless control as well. You can see this, control your phone using your hands-free launch phrase, which is okay, and then GN, I'm not actually going to say it so it doesn't activate. Launch when display is off, call locked, confirm before calling. Now, it's definitely pretty robust. For example, okay Google Now, text message 555-1234, message, how are you today? And I may have goofed up on the wording. I can't remember exactly what the word is. I think it's, okay Google Now, text message 555-1234 with how are you today? Let's see if that works. No, there's a word I can't recall after the number, if it's with or message. There's something, a trigger there that I cannot honestly off the top of my head remember. Been in calls all day, so my brain's a little bit fried. Okay, Google Now. Okay, Google Now. Call 555-1234.
Calling 555.
Cancel.
1234.
Cancel. Cancel. There we go. And you can see it canceled. It took a little bit of prodding, but some stern talking to, but it did cancel out. So you've got all this stuff here. The real question is, this device is coming to Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint for $199 with a dual-core processor, even though it's running Motorola's X8 architecture, which really kind of gives it quad-core, octa-cores actually. So it's a fast processor all around. Is it worth the $199 in comparison to, let's say, the HTC One, the Galaxy S4, the Optimus G Pro, the G2, all of these other high-end devices that are either out on the market or are coming very soon? We're going to try to figure it out in part 2, so be sure to keep it locked right here on PhoneDog.com for part 2 of the Moto X full video review. Stay tuned.